All right. What's up, everyone? What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing tonight? Mike Reinhardt, what's happening? I see you in there. Khalif Copeland, what's happening? King Flay, Yvette G, Divine Spark, Gnostic Knowledge. What's up, Maggie? All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Tonight's going to be a great talk. I've been trying to get this video done for the last 3 weeks. You may have seen it posted that it was going to be a live talk, and then it was gone. It was rescheduled over and over again, primarily because I was traveling. It wasn't any conspiracy. And where I was located, the internet was not good. It was very, very, very bad. And so we got to another location. Internet was bad again over there. Got to another destination. This is in 3 different areas of Europe. Again, the internet was, again, no good. So had to wait till I got back here and have it rescheduled to where I can get on a stable, somewhat stable internet, because the quality was so bad. In some cases, I couldn't even see my face. So we're here now. All right, we're here. What's up, old Toby from the UK? That's where I was. I just got back from the UK. I was in Blackpool, Manchester, and then London, and then back to Manchester, and then back to the USA. So it was a great time. It was a very exciting trip. As some of you know, I was given an award there, which was really amazing to be able to get that award. The Stellar Citizens Award for Education and Philanthropy. It's like a Lifetime Achievement Award. It was a true honor to be able to get that award. And I had no idea I was getting this award, which was the most important part, the most amazing thing. I was completely clueless. I was sitting there. I had just got done doing my lecture, which was amazing, sold out room, standing room only. And then Giorgio Tsoukalos from Ancient Aliens comes in and he's announcing this amazing award. They're describing what this award is for and what it's about. And I'm like, wow, who did they fly in to get this award? And then he starts telling my life story, and I was blown away. So it was a very emotional night. And what an honor, what a true honor it was to be able to receive that award. And it's up here now in my office. And it was just something I'll cherish for the rest of my life. So thank you so much to everyone that has supported, followed, listened over all the years. And also to the people that I've helped. I'd like to thank them as well for giving me the inspiration to go outside of my box and show that, the power of service to others. And it's been now over the course of the last 25 years, I've literally helped raise and donate and give away over $20 million. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing to be able to be part of some of these big things and to be able to share and reach out to a lot of people and help them in situations where they may have thought there was no help. I've been in those situations myself. So, all right, guys, tonight we're going to talk about, Rainbow Food Rocks. Guys, if you haven't gotten Rainbow Food Rocks book, you got to get her book. It's an amazing book. She actually really came up with a recipe book that helps autistic children. And it's her own child. She actually helped her own child through this recipe method. And so if you have an autistic child, know someone with an autistic child, Rainbow Food Rocks, look for her book. She's in the chat right now. I think she's on YouTube in the chat. I'm on multiple platforms right now, but in YouTube in the chat, Rainbow Food Rocks. get her book. Her book is amazing, and it's really designed to help people, especially those who have people that have kids that are autistic. She's seen phenomenal, trackable, repeatable results. Okay, so check it out, guys. All right, so tonight's talk is obviously, is a very controversial topic, as you know. We're going to be talking about chemtrails, geoengineering. I'm going to talk about ice core samples, the effect on weather, weather patterns, and things like that. What is really going on out here? What is happening? What is this global warming that everyone is talking about? Okay. These are some big topics, really, really, really big topics. And they had been labeled in the past as being quote unquote conspiracy theories. Well, they're not conspiracy theories anymore. This is now mainstream knowledge. Okay. So using the word chemtrail is not, you're not considered a conspiracy theorist anymore. Now, back when that terminology first came out, and everyone was looking up in the skies for the last decade or so and going, what in the heck are all these, these things being left behind by planes crisscrossing the sky, blanketing our skies with this chaff that doesn't disappear like a contrail, but actually stays up there and hovers, and, kind of blankets the sky and blocks out the sun. What is this stuff? What exactly is it? And a lot of people were, hypothesizing that it was, they were giving us Morgellons disease. They were spraying poison on us, and they're doing all these things. Well, let's take a look. Let's take a deep look into what these chemtrails are. And as I always do, guys, because I have to, I always go and look up some of the facts, because that way they can't delete my account. Because you know why? Because I'm giving mainstream facts that can be fact checked. And so because I do that, my account stays here. I don't hypothesize off the top of my head. And if I do come up with a hypothesis, what I do with the hypothesis is I tell you, this is not in any record. This is not a mainstream statement. This is not any type of, published document. It's something that I hypothesize on. And you're allowed to hypothesize. I don't make blanket, outright, cold statements on things. I think that's where a lot of people kind of mess up a little bit. So, we're going to look into a couple of things tonight. And the first thing I want to do is I want to talk a little bit about a report about geoengineering, aka chemtrails, on the Brookings Institute. Now, the Brookings Institute is a powerful company that writes reports that that advises the government, the United States government. All right. They wrote the report in 1960 that basically is one of the biggest reasons why UFOs have been suppressed by the U.S. government and the U.S. military. They actually take a lot of advice from this Brookings Institute. Okay. They propose studies on the implications of peaceful space activities for human affairs, often referred to as the Brookings Report. It was a 1960s report commissioned by NASA and created by the Brookings Institution in collaboration with NASA's Committee on Long Range Studies. And in this study, they had come up with the concept that if the general population were to find out about the reality of UFOs and extraterrestrial beings, the existence of them, it would cause an outright panic, and it would also crash economic systems globally. And so for that reason, the information has continued to be suppressed until more recently, now that they're coming out little by little with information about these UAPs, and military officers are allowed to give their testimony as to the fact that they have seen these things and even have almost collided with them. But the fact that I'm making about this is not to get off on UFO tangent, but to talk about the fact that the Brookings Institute is so powerful that they actually influence space agencies, the military, and the U.S. government with their reports and their studies. Pretty interesting, okay? So, with that being said, think about that. This institute is, is one of the largest ones that do these studies. They actually say mankind is warned to prepare for discovery of life in space. The Brookings Institution report says Earth civilization might topple if faced by a race of superior beings. These are old reports that they had been writing in 1960, 1950, 1970s. They continue to write reports on various different things to advise world leaders on which way to go with decisions that they're going to make. So I'm trying to build up to let you know the power that this Brookings Institute has behind them and their influence on official sources, right? So that's pretty interesting. Now, what do they have to say about chemtrails? Well, there's a report online that you can look up on brookings.edu. Brookings.edu website, right? Matter of fact, let me share my screen real quick so you can see what I'm looking at, so you can understand exactly what I'm talking about here. Let me share my screen. All right. Let me find this window. Oh, I think I have to actually pull it out of here first, and then I can share it. So give me 1 second. Let me just make this into a separate window. All right, got it. Now let me go back and share my screen. I'll let you guys read along with me so that you can see I'm not making this stuff up. All right. Now, let's have a look at this. This is brookings.edu, preparing the United States for security and governance in a geoengineering future. Let's see what they have to say. We can't read through this whole thing because it's extensive. However, this was December 14th, 2021. All right. And they're talking about chemtrails. And they're talking about using these things to alter the weather patterns on the planet Earth, right? Imagine the following scenario. It's the year 2035. One large country dealing with major issues of global warming decides to take extreme action. The government begins secret deployment of a geoengineering system for pumping large amounts of reflective particles into the air, a technique designed to mimic the cooling effect of a volcanic eruption, only a much larger scale and over a much longer period of time on the horizon. Although such behavior has been discouraged by the international community, research has continued, largely behind closed doors and without real regulation. Now that the climate situation has become more dire, the country has decided to do what it can. This country has decided that it can no longer afford to wait. They see geoengineering as their only option. So you see what they're talking about is avoiding this global warming catastrophe via chemtrails, which is exactly what my hypothesis was if you look at some of my older videos on forbidden knowledge. Let's just take a look here. At first, the decision seems wise as the increase in global temperatures start to level off, but soon other types of anomalous weather begins to appear. Unexpected severe droughts hit countries around the world. Now let's stop right there. If you look at the ancient Sumerian tablets, in the tablets, Enlil talks about the fact that human beings were making too much noise and they were getting too cumbersome. And his response to that was, I'm just going to kill them off. And how I'm going to do it, one of the ways he did it was he decided to spray some stuff in the air that would dry out the humans' crops, thereby virtually destroying their crops, which means destroying their food source, which means they would starve to death. What do we have going on right now in America? Okay. We have a food crisis. We have a food shortage. Do you see what I'm talking about? Not to mention the fact that food plants are being burned and blown up. In the last 4 months, I think 5 or 6 have been hit. Pretty interesting. A scenario such as the one above remains unfortunately possible given the current state of global geoengineering policy. As the increasingly severe effects of global warming generate greater interest in geoengineering technologies, the United States must prepare itself for the risks and uncertainties that come along with their potential deployment. Preparedness for such a world will likely be multifaceted and will likely include improved understanding of how the global climate will change both with or without geoengineering, the ability to detect and monitor geoengineering activity worldwide, an adequate policy roadmap for deterring certain kinds of geoengineering activity, and for responding in case of geoengineering deployment by other nations, among other measures. We're talking about here the fact that these geoengineering hypothesis by the Brookings Institute has already begun. We have already begun to see the effects of man-made climate change around the world. Average temperatures climb, droughts become more frequent, storms become more destructive, and sea levels rise, among other harmful effects. The international community has made emissions mitigation its goal to prevent catastrophic levels of climate change. But as nations habitually fall short of targets deemed necessary by climate scientists, the risk of climate emergency heightens. A lot of this is just hype and propaganda, which I'm going to talk to you about in a minute, and why it's hype and a lot of propaganda, in my opinion, based on ice core samples. Because we're going to take a look at some ice core samples, the data, right? As a result, conversations around geoengineering have become more frequent, defined as deliberate, large-scale manipulation of an environmental process that affects the Earth's climate in an attempt to counteract global warming. Geoengineering can broadly be divided into two very different subcategories. Carbon monoxide removal is one, which seeks to remove carbon from the atmosphere in order to lessen the greenhouse effects, thus slow warming. And the second one, solar radiation management, or solar geoengineering, which attempts to increase reflection of solar radiation. These are the chemtrail particles in the sky. Reflection of solar radiation away from the Earth in order to slow warming. Various types of solar geoengineering approaches, including releasing reflective particles into the atmosphere, known as strategic aerosol injection, which you see coming out of the planes, or spraying seawater into the lower atmosphere to generate brighter, more reflective clouds, known as marine cloud brightening. So we know that they're using these techniques right now. That was from the Brookings Institute, okay? Let me close this back and come back to the screen. That was from the Brookings Institute, okay? Now, what are they saying here? What they're saying is that there's an active process going on right now with geoengineering. They don't want to call it chemtrails. And in these sprays, these aerosol sprays coming out of these planes, they are releasing different types of particulates into the atmosphere, and these particulates have different things in them, right? Different types of metals. One of them is barium. Now, barium is one of the top things being released into the atmosphere. You can find that on scientificamerican.com, right? Barium is one of the top things being released in this reflective aerosol coming out of the planes. Now, what is one of the side effects of barium on the human body? Let's take a look at that, right? Small amounts of water-soluble barium may cause a person to experience breathing difficulties, increased blood pressure, heart rhythm changes, stomach irritation, muscle weakness, changes in nerve reflexes, swelling of the brain and swelling of the liver, kidney and heart damage. And barium has not been shown to cause cancer, though. It'll do all this other stuff, but don't worry, it won't cause cancer. Okay? Where did I get that information? That's from lentech.com. Lentech.com. All right? And so, again, we see that that's one of the objects in there. What is the other object in this geoengineering aerosol? Aluminum. Okay? Aluminum. What is the aluminum effect on humans? Chronic aluminum oxide inhalation may cause pneumonia, psychosis. Pneumonia. Yeah, I was right. Pneumonoconosis with cough and external dysphonia. Dysphonia. Dyspnoea. Dysphonia. Diffuse Wow, these are some crazy words. Reticulonuclear shadowing on chest x-ray and restrictive pattern of pulmonary function. In severe cases, death may result from respiratory failure or, this is crazy. This is a huge article on inchem.org. Okay, inchem, INCHEM.org. You can find the results or the effects of extensive exposure to the aluminum oxide that's being released in some of these particulates. Some of these words are hard to pronounce. I would have to practice these words to get them right the first time. Goodness, it's crazy. There's long-term effects of this actually on the human body as well. Okay. The following chronic long-term health effects can occur at some time after exposure to aluminum oxide and can last months or even years. It says, warning, cancer hazard. That's on newjersey.gov, nj.gov. So this is a government website. Okay. Let me share my screen again so I can make sure you guys see I'm not making this stuff up. Let me this is ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Hold on a second. Now let me go back and share my screen so YouTube can see my sources, because this is not a conspiracy theory. This is real. Share screen. There we go. nj.gov. Hazardous substance fact sheet. Aluminum oxide. There you go right here, guys. White, odorless, crystalline, sand-like powder. It's used in abrasive and refractory materials. Refractory materials. That's what is being done in these aerosols. They are refracting light from the planet back into space to help reduce global warming. At least that's what they think they're doing. But what they're really doing is people are getting these contracts to become geoengineers. You can look up, you can Google, bidding on contracts for geoengineering. And you can actually, if you have the technology, the plane, and the flight and everything else, ability and the background check, you can actually be one of these people flying around pouring this crap out over the planet. And what it's turned into a crap show. I don't want to say the SHI show, T, but it's turned into that, and it's all about making money now. Right, so giving out these big contracts for people to fly around and spray this stuff out of their planes. In it is barium and aluminum oxide, and we just spent an extensive time just talking about the side effects of those two things. And by the way, the aluminum oxide, one of the long-term effects is cancer. Right? If it gets in your eyes, now guys, if you're outside and this stuff is in the air, where is it going to go? Unless you're walking around with your eyes sealed shut, it's going to get in your eyes. Immediately flush with large amounts of water for at least 15 minutes, lifting upper and lower lids. Remove contact lenses if worn while flushing. Skin contact. Quickly remove contaminated clothing. Immediately wash contaminated skin with large amounts of soap and water. Inhalation. Remove the person from exposure. Begin rescue breathing. If breathing has stopped, CPR stop. Transfer promptly to a medical facility. This is dangerous stuff that's being released into the atmosphere. Overpopulations, populated cities where people actually live, breathe, and actually open their eyes and look around and see. And we're not supposed to get it in our eyes. We're not supposed to inhale it. Okay? Look at this. Chronic health effects. It can last for months or years. Cancer hazard. Unbelievable. Reproductive hazard. Now, they're saying that it hasn't been tested for its ability to affect reproduction. Okay. If you're a pregnant person and you're inhaling aluminum oxide, what do you think is going to happen to that fetus? Think about that. Think about the consistent rise in autistic children happening on this planet right now. And then look at the rise in geoengineering. And you're going to find out that that chart is almost identical. Look at the rise of autism going up on a chart like a stock chart, and then look at the rise of geoengineering going up globally, and you'll find out that it's almost identical. The rise in geoengineering and the rise in autism. Very similar, right? Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. So the people at the top who are fighting for all this global warming, crusade, what they're doing is they found a way to profit off of it through geoengineering. And through geoengineering, by allowing private corporations to come in and fly planes and dump chaff in the sky, which is full of chemical particulates that are deadly and dangerous to human beings over populated areas in order to reflect the sunlight so that we don't burn to death on the ground. What they've done is they've taken something that's a natural occurrence in the cycle of Earth, and they've turned it into a money-making scam, in my opinion, by introducing geoengineering. And I'm talking about they have generated now billions of dollars in utilizing this technique to cover the skies and all of this chaff, right? And it's a travesty because these people always try to find ways to make money off of darkness when there's so many ways to make money off the light. There's so many ways to live happy and generate an income for yourself that is significant while helping people versus doing things to people that are going to hurt and kill and injure not only these people that are here, but also future generations, because we're talking about affecting fetuses as well. Pretty crazy. Okay. Pretty crazy stuff. There's also another reason for the rise in autism, but I can't mention it on this video or they'll probably delete it. But we know what it is. Don't forget about the Jabberwowskis. We know what that means. The Jabberwowskis. You know what that means, right? So they're doing these chemtrails, and they are dropping these chemical particulates and these different types of metals, heavy metals, things that you can breathe in that can go right into your brain, that can go right into your body and stay there and wreak all kind of havoc in your body. People are having a rise in autoimmune diseases right now. Autoimmune coming out of nowhere. They can't figure out what's going on. Now, let me tell you a story about this so that can be verified on my part. This is not an opinion. I get a rash and I keep having this allergic reaction over and over again. The doctors kept telling me I'm just having something called contact dermatitis, an allergic reaction. I go to the Cleveland Clinic on Weston Road and go see the doctor, the dermatologist, the head dermatologist at Cleveland Clinic on Weston Road. She tells me the reason why this keeps happening, you may be allergic to chemtrails. Her exact words. Okay? Her exact words. Now, you tell me, why would a dermatologist in such an esteemed hospital come up with that statement to me? Just openly, so calmly and so open, without even hesitating or holding back, Dr. Sherry L. Bullard, MD. Dr. Sherry, Sherrie L. Bullard, MD, at the Cleveland Clinic on Weston Road in Weston, Florida. That's the doctor, dermatologist. Told me I may be allergic to chemtrails. Why would she say that? Because it's true. Because the shaft that they're dropping out of the sky is causing an allergic reaction in my skin, which is one of the main reasons why I thought it was important to make a video about this. This stuff is dangerous. Now imagine if I was a woman and I was carrying a baby, the effect that's going to have potentially on the fetus. Taking in these particulates, these metals and these aluminum and all this stuff and these oxides and bringing it into my body where it begins to basically erode inside my body and wreak all kind of havoc inside of me. And then nobody has a solution or an answer to actually what's going on. What's going on is I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to see and breathe outside, and I'm being poisoned from the sky above while people are making billions of dollars to put this stuff out under the hypothesis. There's no proven, they don't even have it proven yet that all this aerosol spraying, this geoengineering is going to somehow lower the temperature on Earth. It hasn't worked yet. It actually hasn't worked yet. Now, let's talk a little bit about what's really going on about this global warming. Global warming is an absolute hoax. Is the planet getting warmer? Yes, it is. It's getting warmer. But guess what? It's part of a natural cycle of warming. How do we know this? Ice core samples, right? Ice core samples. You can get the ice core data. The ice core data is available to anyone online. Okay. Ice cores are the best way of forecasting what happened in the past and also what's going to happen in the future. The ice core data will tell you everything. Okay. So we're going to look at I'm going to take you to the ice core page so you can see exactly what page you're going to. And I'm going to also, let me show you guys what this ice core is, by the way, as well. Let me open this up and share my screen. And then I'm going to talk about this ice core data and exactly what it is. All right. Let's open up this window here. What you're looking at here on the right, you see this, this man is holding an ice core. So you take a drill, a special hollow drill, and you go deep into the earth's crust and you go down many, many feet, right? Yards, really. And then you pull up this ice core sample. For every inch you go down, you're going back in time. And then in these ice core samples, we're able to see exactly what happened at a particular time. You see a much longer one here. It's like reading the past. This is like reading a book. You can see exactly what the temperature was. You can see what was in the atmosphere. You can see if there's been volcanic eruptions, if there's been a global warming pattern. You can see all the different temperatures. You can see if it was an ice age. You can see if there was a virus in the air, a bacterial. All this information is stored in ice core data, which is, guess what, available to the general public. All the temperature changes, as you can see in these graphs, these are real ice core temperature change graphs. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this, and when you look at the ice core data, what do we find? We find that global warming is a natural cycle and it happens every so many thousands of years. And we're in the warming cycle again right now. It's a natural warming cycle. This warming cycle is caused by something interesting. The fact that our sun orbits another star. And when those two stars get close together, they create very strong gravitational waves, which create friction. Those gravitational waves ripple through our solar system. They actually excite or put energy into the moons and planets in our solar system. And every planet and moon in our solar system at this exact moment is experiencing global warming at the same time. Now, are you trying to tell me that we have aerosol cans and car exhaust fumes on all these other moons and planets in our solar system creating global warming at the same time Earth is getting global warming? This is scientific fact. All of them are. So are we driving cars and 18-wheelers on other planets, on Mars? The ice caps are melting on Mars. Are we driving cars around up there with exhaust fumes and all this other industrial? Is there a new industrial age on Mars right now that we don't know about? Or is it something else? These gravitational waves from the orbiting stars, every so many thousands of years, I think it's every 4,800 years now, they ripple through the solar system, and any energy in equals energy out. It creates a certain type of friction that warms the planet from the inside or the moon from the inside out, melting the ice on the planet and creating a global warming effect, even melting or warming the cores of moons and planets. Saturn's core, according to science data right now, is even almost melted. If it was Earth, we'd be gone already, the scientists said, astrophysicists said. Again, are we driving around cars and stuff like that and putting emissions out on Saturn now? No, we're not. So what does it mean, guys? It means it's a natural cycle based on the orbiting of in a binary star system. Okay. So as our sun approaches this other star, the two gravitational fields collide and create a gravitational ripple, or what we now know as gravitational waves. Those move through the solar system and literally charge up energetically all the planets and moons, creating a warming effect. It has nothing to do with the light coming from the sun. weren't making the planet hot. You see why the geoengineering is such the biggest scam going right now? People are making all this money behind the donations, which are giving the people on the board of directors million-dollar salaries, multi-million-dollar salaries, and then the awarding of all these grants and contracts to people to fly the planes and drop poison on human beings, all in the name of reducing the climate. It hadn't worked one iota. It's just like raising all this money for cancer research all these decades, and they ain't cured not one piece of cancer. Trillions of dollars have been raised to fix cancer, and the cancer is still wreaking havoc on the world. Haven't stopped it yet. It's a big money maker. Now they can stop it, but they won't, because why? There's more money in the treatment. You see? Same thing is going on with this geoengineering, aka chemtrails. What they're doing is they are literally making a lot of money off of this at the expense of creating an extremely sick population by actually poisoning people on the planet at the expense of them putting a couple dollars in their pockets over a period of time. Ice core sample data is the smoking gun to tell you that this global warming is a natural cycle. Now, here's what's interesting. Let me stop sharing for a second. Here's what's interesting about this. What's interesting is with the global warming, you find that the warming periods that we've had already have come and gone, and they've been warmer than this one. So this is not even the hottest warming period we've had. This is not even the warm. It's not even close to the warmest that we've had. This is actually light compared to other warming cycles that have happened in the past. The earth is not going to end. We're not going to burn up. The oceans are not going to burn away. The ozone is not going to melt and open up and let the x-rays in and destroy our DNA and all this crazy stuff. It's propaganda. It's hype. So they can do what? Make a lot of money through donations, use it for political reasons to run for different offices. People campaign on global warming, knowing that there's nothing they can damn well do about it. People campaign on global warming, right? Just like Obama campaigned on the doggone, labeling GMOs, and then he didn't do it. Then when he got in office, he made Monsanto the head of the FDA, the guy who was the kingpin of GMOs. Stop falling for these polytrickers, man. These people are the biggest scammers on the planet Earth. The biggest scammers on Earth. So now this geoengineering thing is just another thing to make money at the expense of making billions of people sick. Meanwhile, the ice core sample data tells us the truth. The truth is that the ice cores will tell you exactly how much time has gone by between warming periods and how warm it actually was. And we now know that this isn't even the warmest warming period. So if you have been frightened about this global warming and the cows are passing too much gas because we have farms and it's making the climate change and the cars are, guys, calm down. Have human beings had an effect on global warming? Yes, I'm not stupid. We've had an effect on the warming of the planet as well. Is it a major level of warming? Have we had a major effect? If this isn't even close to the warmest warming period, then no. No, we've had an effect, but not enough to make a difference. Not enough to melt the planet and melt the sea, melt all the ice, and the waters are gonna. No, guys, calm down. We're living in a natural cycle. If the ice is melting on the poles and the water sea levels are rising, it's natural. So what you do? Stop building houses on a doggone coastline, or have a backup house inland somewhere up in a mountain or a hill, because the sea levels are going to rise and the ice is going to melt on the poles. It happens just like there's fires every year in California. Every year there's fires. Since I was a little tiny kid, every 20 years or 30 years, it's going to be an earthquake in California and some other places. Highways are going to collapse. People are going to die. It happens. It's a cycle. Yellowstone in America, Yellowstone Park, is a giant caldera. It's a super massive volcano. And when it erupts, and it will erupt again, It's going to cover the whole United States in ash and most of the planet in ash, and it's going to drop the temperature of the planet by 2 to 3 degrees, which is going to cause a lot of crops to fail. There's going to be a real bad time on this planet when that thing pops, and it will pop again. It's actually overdue. We got more things to worry about than this hypothesized global warming that we need to spray all this chaff in the air. It's all about making money. Always follow the money. That's what's really going on. They are spraying this aerosol with barium and aluminum oxide in order to reflect sunlight back into space, which is what it does. It actually does what it says it does, but they don't tell you the second part. As these particulates find their way down to the planet's surface because of gravity, we take it in through our eyes, our ears, our mouth, and through our biggest organ, our largest organ, which is our skin. Your skin is your largest organ. It's an organ. And that stuff is being absorbed into our bodies 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's in the drinking water now. It's in our food supply on the farmlands. You can get the most organic apple you can find. You can grow an apple in your backyard using your own soil and your own seeds and everything. And when you bite into that sucker, it's poisoned already. It's already poisoned. It's already poisoned. The water you use to water that apple tree has microfiber, microplastics already in it. That tree, that apple was doomed before you even bit into it. Okay? So the thing is here, and I'm not trying to scare you, what I'm trying to tell you is no matter where you turn, they're poisoning us at every turn. At every turn, the abuse of these corporations for the purpose of making profits have literally put us in a conundrum here on this planet where at every turn we're being poisoned. Our kids are being poisoned. Our unborn kids are being poisoned. Future generations yet to come are already doomed to poisons. And it's all because of one thing: capitalism. Capitalism is injected into too many things. We cannot have a society where capitalism is involved in everything. You can't have capitalism in geoengineering. You can't have capitalism in the healthcare system. You can't have capitalism in the prison system. You can't have capitalism in all these different systems. It must be removed. Otherwise, it's doomed to corruption. There's no way to get around it. As long as capitalism exists in every institution is going to be going to be compromised. And there's no way to get around it because that's human nature. And until we remove the capitalism from it, we're screwed. We're screwed. And right now, there's capitalism in geoengineering, which is a big, big problem. So they keep pushing the hype about this thing and telling you what this thing is all about. The fact of the matter is, global warming is a natural cycle. And actually, another thing about global warming, when the planet warms up too much, it creates the next ice age. So global warming actually will lead to an ice age. So the warming effect of the Earth, what it does, it stalls out the Gulf Stream. And when the Gulf Stream is the actual air conditioning of the planet, right? Planes use the Gulf Stream to fly on, they hop on it and actually can get to where they're going faster because they ride the Gulf Stream to different locations. That's why when you're going in a specific direction in the plane, if you're riding the Gulf Stream, you can get there quicker and use less gas. The Gulf Stream is the air conditioning of the planet Earth. It keeps everything flowing and circulating, right? It keeps everything, all the cycles regulated. But when the planet gets too hot, the Gulf Stream actually stalls out. And when the Gulf Stream stalls out, it then goes from global warming to beginnings of an ice age. We're not even close to that yet, guys. We're not even close. But that's what will happen. When you get to a super hot global warming cycle, which is not this cycle, it'll be probably another cycle, maybe the next in a few thousand years. But that will trigger another ice age. And we're kind of overdue for the next ice age. The last one ended about 11,000 years ago, began about 13,000 years ago. And so pretty soon we're going to be going into another warming period that'll come along and trigger, unless we master the elements on this planet by then. In a few thousand years, we got a few thousand years to figure it out. Or we create breakaway civilizations on other planets, which is another reason why people are leaving Earth and going to other planets. We create breakaway civilizations on other planets. But again, who controls who comes and goes? It's only the elites that have access to make those decisions at this point in time. But maybe in a few thousand years, things will change, and we'll be able to manipulate the elements in a way that will prevent us from going through, this potential ice age that's going to come after a super warming cycle. But that's what will happen after a super warming cycle. You get an ice age, and then as the ice age comes down and the cycle begins to become warmer again, it turns into a normalized situation. You have we have an Earth like what we have today. But then thousands of years later, the planet's going to warm up again, potentially trigger another ice age. This is the cycle of Earth that has been going on for millennia. This is the way it is. It has nothing to do with cows passing gas at farms, exhaust coming out of your car, hairspray can spraying aerosol into that. It's really all about one thing: a global cycle based on the orbit of a binary star system. That's what's causing global warming. All right. So, just some things to think about. I know it may be a lot, for some of you, but it's really interesting that they push this agenda so hard. Geoengineering is a real thing. It's verified, and you can look it up. It's not woo-woo anymore. It's not a conspiracy theory anymore. You could actually, if you have the facility, if you have the planes, and you have the technology and the background, you could actually go apply and bid for a geoengineering job to release aerosol into the atmosphere and poison human beings on this planet, all for the cause of potentially, averting a global warming. They keep finding ways to make money off of catastrophes, of potential catastrophes, right? They've been pitching this peak oil since I was a little tiny kid. The oil, we're running out of oil. This planet is never going to run out of oil. You know why? Because Earth makes oil. Oil is the blood of the Earth. It's the amniotic fluid of the planet Earth itself. Earth creates oil, just like your body creates blood. If I go donate blood and give away a pint, within a few days, my body recreates and I'm back up to normal again. I'm back on full again. Same thing with the planet Earth. That's why you can have a well drilling for oil, and the oil runs dry, and come back in 10 years and test that well again. Oh man, there's oil here again. How the heck did that happen? Because the Earth creates oil. The Earth creates diamonds. There's no diamond. There'll never be a diamond shortage. The Earth creates diamonds. The Earth creates all these things. It's part of its living organism. The Earth is alive, and these are pieces of its living organism, its living body. Just like the oil is a part of its living body. What we've done is we've taken it and told people that oil comes from dead plants and dead ancient animals, fossil fuels. No. Oil does not come from dead trees and dead carcasses. Please stop teaching that to your kids. Oil is created inside the planet Earth, and it's created by a process in the Earth that we don't fully, truly understand. But the Earth itself creates its own oil. There'll never be peak oil. It's a myth. It's an absolute myth. I'm gonna probably do a rant on this oil and electric cars. I gotta schedule a date for it. I'm gonna do a rant. These electric cars are destroying the planet. I'm gonna tell you why. They're destroying the planet. They will destroy the planet worse than the oil we're doing right now is. And I'm going to tell you guys why. I'm going to go on a rant on these electric cars. There's a way to do an electric car, but the way we're doing them is going to destroy us. It's a bad situation. I'm going to talk about that next time. All right. Anyway, I want to take a quick chance. Here goes somebody. I want to answer this question real quick. I just saw across my eyeball. Billy, why do you only attack Christianity and never any of the other religions? Are you an agent of misinformation? Actually, sir, I've actually talked about pretty much all the religions already. Pretty much talked about them. I had one where I talked about, I think it was 12 or 13 different religions? Every single one. You haven't been around long enough. So in my opinion, you're the disinformation person because you haven't been around long enough. You're coming up to assumptions without doing any research and investigation. One of the biggest problems on this planet, people running around coming up with their own assumptions without digging into any. You didn't even spend any time looking up the work I've done to figure out that I've talked about this stuff for the last 10 years, and I've gone over every single one of them. I just talked about Muslims not too long ago. I just talked about, my goodness, I've gone over all these things. I have a whole list of them. And I break every single one of them down. I forget what that video was. I think that video was like 2 or 3 years ago. I've done it extensively. And if you're a person that's a zealot for religion, this account ain't for you. Like if you are a zealot, a religious zealot, and you believe in your whatever your belief system is about your religion, you don't hang around on this account. Thank you, ARP. What's the ARP? Don't hang around on this account because it's gonna get you. It's gonna make you feel some kind of way. Hanging out on this account and trying to hold on to politricks, being in love with politicians and believing politicians are coming to save you and believing all these fake gods are coming to save you. If you're that kind of person and you really believe in that stuff, don't hang out on this account. Don't do it. Don't hurt yourself like that because I'm going to tear down all your realities. I'm gonna destroy your whole matrix. I'm gonna pull it apart bit by bit. I'm gonna take every 0 and 1 out of that whole system and break down the whole programming code. And when I get done, you're gonna feel naked out here. And because you're gonna feel naked and exposed, you're gonna want to lash out. That turns you into a troll and a hater. That's how trolls and haters are born. It's from fear, and then that fear turns into, well, it starts off with the ignorance. The ignorance turns into fear, and then the fear turns into hate. And then the hate turns into trolling, and it turns into opposition and all this other crazy stuff. Then these people turn into having these crazy cockamamie made up ideas. How can he? I've had people, how can he know? How can he do this much work? How can he be this much? He must be an agent. No, I'm just a black man with a good brain. I'm intelligent, dude. Like I know what I'm talking about because I study and I research for decades, and my brain works well. I retain information at a high level. That's why I can take the law exam and pass that, and I can take a real estate exam and I can pass that, and I can take a computer science exam and pass that, and I can do all these things that I do. I can be a programmer, I can write in 5 programming languages. Why can I do all? I'm a musician. I'm an artist. I've been on Billboard. I'm a producer. Now I write movies and screenplays and shows, and I own a TV network. And why? Because guys, I'm brilliant. And guess what? You're brilliant too, but you don't believe it. You don't believe you're brilliant. You just don't believe it. I just bought a brand new guitar sitting on the other side of this desk. A brand new guitar, electric guitar and an amp. Do I know how to play an electric guitar yet? No, but I will. I decided I want to play the guitar. Anything my brain comes up with and it falls across my mind, I do it. I'm not one of these people that sit back and go, man, I really wish I can do this thing. I really one day, or wow, that person's lucky. They can do this. No, not me. I'm gonna go out there and get it done. Period. If it comes across my mind and I feel like it's something I want to do, I never second guess myself. I go out and I do it, and then I do it at a high level. Everything I touch, I do it at a high level. Period. Point blank. And when I talk about these religious systems and all these different religions and break them down, I do that at a high level. And so it's going to get you irritated when I come at you with this information and this knowledge and this wisdom, and you don't have one passport that ever showed you ever left your zip code. You have no stamps in your passport. You don't even have a passport. You've been sitting at home watching YouTube videos and going to churches for your whole life, listening to a pastor tell you guys what's going on out here. And then you come on this channel and I literally rip apart your whole reality. Your whole system for what you thought was going to happen after you died and everything else is torn down. And then, it's just like, hey, if you can't handle that, this ain't the place for you, and I apologize for if it makes you feel bad. But The reason why I am who I am is because I'm going to I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm not going to sugarcoat you. I'm not going to babysit you and make you and cuddle with you and make you feel all nice and soft inside. At some point, we have to have what we call tough love. And we got to get the real talk, the real speak. We can't be out here listening to these people lollygag and play around and beat around the bush and try to convince you into something. No, I'm going to tell you what's happening. And you can either take it and leave it, or you can just say, look, I don't even want to listen to this guy anymore. Let me block this guy on everything I got. You're going to block me in a lot of places because I'm everywhere. I'm like white rice. I'm everywhere. So, if you're going to get offended by what I got to say about your religions and everything else and your politricks and all these people having all this faith and love and harmony with these politicians, believing that these people came to be their saviors, you got another thing coming, man. I don't believe in any presidents, not one. The only president I would have had any kind of inkling of any kind of interest in supporting or at least listening to would be JFK. Because JFK went against the grain. JFK sent the military troops into Mississippi to make sure these kids got into college, these black kids got into college. He did all kind of crazy stuff that nobody would have ever done, and he got killed for it. JFK would have probably been the only one. Other than that, he was like a dark horse. Other than that, nobody. Nobody. I don't care who it is. Nobody. They're all polytricksters. All these religions are all fake. They're all fabricated information made up by a human being, men, taken from ancient texts and tablets and peaks made together. I just did a whole special last week on Jehovah's Witnesses. You know, I've gone over all the religions already. You got to find that video. It's out there somewhere. I'll do another one soon. I don't hold back on it. I don't bite my tongue on anybody. All of it's garbage. All of it. You know why? It doesn't work. Look at the state of the world with all these religious people. 85.9% of the world is religious, with trillions of prayers going up every day. I mean, trillions. Why? Because some people pray multiple times in a day. Multiply that by billions of people, you get trillions of prayers. And guess what? I guarantee you that your prayer won't beat my action. Your prayers will not beat my action. You know what I mean by that? I want to take a religious Christian zealot or religious Muslim zealot. I want to take a religious Islam, whatever you are. I'm going to take you with me. Come on out. Come on out. We're going to hit the street and we're going to go to an area, and I want you to say your most incredible prayer. And I want to see somebody's life get changed right in front of my eyes. And then I'm going to say, okay, you had your chance. Now it's my turn. I'm going to go get with this person, sit down, hang out with them. I'm going to give them a hug. I'm going to talk to them about their situation. I'm going to give them some wisdom that they can actually use. And then I'm going to help out their situation, whether it be financially, whether it be connecting them with another place, whether it be taking them somewhere, whether it be feeding them, whatever it is. My action is going to beat your prayer any day of the week. And if you believe in your religion that much, then take your pastors to the hospital where all these people were dying from cancer and all these other diseases and all these other sicknesses like the global sickness we just had, and have them stop the death process. I bet you they can't do it. The only place that they knock people over with that woo-woo stuff is inside the church, right? They give them the fake tap on the head until you fall down. Now they pass out, and you put that collection plate around 10 more times and give that prosperity message so I can pay for my Mercedes-Benz and my mansion on Monday. And then on Monday, you done gave all your money away on Sunday, and now on Monday you can't pay your light bill. But the prosperity message say you're gonna be blessed, right? Come on, man. Y'all tripping out here. Y'all tripping out here, man. You don't want none of this smoke. Y'all don't want none of this smoke, man. I'm the real deal. You don't want none of this. If you a religious person, you want to be a zealot over your religious beliefs, then don't come on this channel, because I'm gonna use these words. These words are gonna knock you out. You're gonna be sick to your stomach at night. You're gonna be rolling in your bed vomiting when I get done. Anyway, guys, it's all good, man. Look, you know what this geoengineering is all about. And by the way, thank you to everyone for all of these chat donations. All of these go to help underprivileged children. The video of the place where I've given all the money that you guys have donated is in editing right now. It's going to be uploaded to this YouTube channel. You're going to hear from these kids. You are going to hear directly from the kids that these chat donations went to. You're going to hear how these counselors that are in charge of them have impacted their lives. It's going to blow you away. Okay, there wasn't a dry eye in that room at this event. So I'll be putting that video up soon. And so I want to thank every single one of you guys for all these chat donations. It's gone to a very great cause, helping a lot of kids all across America. Eventually, I'd like to make a program that's going to help worldwide. For right now, I just don't have that. But no matter where you are, your chat donations, I want you to know are going to a good cause. All right. Appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Yes, the True Crowd says that the raise. Somebody asked about True Crowd. Let me go here real quick. Yes, True Crowd says investing is still closed. It was open, but it closed. It closed because the SEC only gives you so many days before you move to the next round. And so we had it extended for a few days, but then they said, no, look, we can't do that because we're going to break a rule. We have to actually shut it off at this specific date. So we shut it off there. Round 3 will be opening up very soon as we're moving into something called a Reg A+. In a Reg A+, people who already invested or want to invest will be able to get back in again. Now, the shares are going to be a different price again, as that Reg A+ launches us into a public offering by next year. It's part of the process. That's why when these opportunities come up, you got to get in on them ASAP in the beginning. You can't play around with these opportunities. You can't like lollygag and sit back. They don't come around that. This kind of opportunity that we have here with forbidden knowledge and the shares doesn't come around that often. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity to be in the right place at the right time. Round 3 will be opening very soon. We had some great talks the last few days. Our new pitch deck is just about done for the Reg A+. The attorney's been fully paid. The CPA firm has been paid. They're doing the new audit on the 2021 financials, which will be publicly available. And we are securing a brand new, what do you call that? Escrow bank. Because in a Reg A+ that we're doing, the money goes when you buy shares, the money doesn't come to us. It goes to an escrow, and then from the escrow, after all the funds and everything are verified, and the person is then contacted again and confirmed that they want to do this investment. After so many days after that, then we're allowed to actually take receipt of the funds and then utilize them in the corporation. So it's a very strict process. But that Reg A+ will launch us into the next level, which is going to be the NASDAQ offering that we're looking for, which you saw the press release on at the beginning of the first quarter or second quarter at the latest of 2023. A lot of big stuff happening here at Forbidden Knowledge, guys. We appreciate you. We love every single one of you guys. Thank you for listening to this talk tonight about the geoengineering and the global warming. Again, don't forget, global warming is not coming from cows passing gas in your exhaust pipes coming out of your car. It's a natural cycle based on the orbit of a binary star system, our sun orbiting a brown dwarf star, which is now peer-reviewed science. And the fact that those gravitational waves collide and create friction in planets and moons in our solar system that creates a warming effect from the inside out, which is one of the patterns that we're seeing right now that has happened already in the past, verified by ice core data that we have access to in droves. And so that's the real reason for the global warming, the chemtrail spraying, the aerosol spraying of the geoengineering spray that's coming out. This barium and this aluminum oxide is poisonous, which is a scientific fact, and it's not a conspiracy theory, it's a fact. And it's to reflect sunlight back into space. And under the hypothesis that it could help reduce global warming, what it's actually doing is creating dried out, killing crops in certain areas. It's creating poison in our foods and water supply, and it's giving people autoimmune diseases. That's what's really happening. That is a real side effect. Wow, big corporations are making billions of dollars, and there's billions of dollars in donations being made, and people, polytricksters, using it as a way to run for office, campaigning on global warming. It's an unfortunate thing, but that's where we are as a society right now. Until the 8 billion of us on this planet stand together and stand up against this oligarchy of 100 ruling families, this kind of stuff is going to continue to happen to us over and over again. And you know what? I'm not even mad at them. You know why? Because we have to look in the mirror and realize that we are the ones allowing this to continue to happen to us and our future generations. We are doing it to ourselves by allowing it. We are in full collusion. We allow and we participate in the game 24/7. We play the game 24/7. Until we realize that they're not the problem, a shark is going to do what a shark is going to do. When a shark smells blood in the water, it's going to attack. Until we realize that we're the problem because of our silence and non-action, things will never change. That's where we are in this society, guys. We got a lot of work to do on ourselves, a lot of work to do with ourselves. Not them. They're going to do what they do. They're programmed in the matrix. It's up to us to make the change. All right? Appreciate you guys. Peace and love from Forbidden Knowledge. I'll catch you guys later. Before I go, I want to drop you the Black Knight Satellite trailer.
You know, you're dealing with all of these objects that are hanging out over your sensitive military installations, nuclear facilities, and now you're seeing objects in orbit.
After I enhanced it a little bit more, I could see that there was almost two halves to this craft. This is something that is intelligently made.
Somebody is watching us. We should at least know who it is and why.
The watchers are called the messengers.
Yes.
They keep watching us because they're thinking, well, perhaps they're not going in the right direction.
This is an actual NSA document. They are talking about communication through specific frequencies and then how we could communicate back with ET.
Houston, this is Discovery. We still have the alien spacecraft under repellent.
This Black Knight is somehow correlated with the Vultus constellation.
I think there's a lot more to it.
An early reptilian race brought this satellite into orbit.
These so-called satellites are to observe the planets, to listen. The universe is full of these probes.
What I think is the most important thing to understand, are we being watched? Who is watching us? And where are they from? I am Billy Carson, and this is my investigation into the Black Knight satellite. All right, guys. Been another great night. I dropped the link in the chat. If you want to watch the Black Knight Satellite documentary, don't forget, go to 4BK, 4BK.tv, 4BK.tv. You can watch it for free. Get a free 3-day trial and watch the Black Knight Satellite documentary on Forbidden Knowledge TV, plus over 6,000 other shows up there, all right? Don't forget, we got the Forbidden World Tour coming very soon. Those dates will be announced soon, and we're going to have the Forbidden Knowledge Conscious Awards coming soon as well, where you, the people, will help vote for the winners of awards in several different 11 different categories. All that information is coming very, very soon. And I'll hop back on tomorrow night to talk about a very special UFO hunt that I'm going on with a very small group of people. I'm going to go personally with them. They're coming with me on a UFO hunt. And we'll talk about that tomorrow briefly, about where we're going, what we're going to be doing, and who is allowed to come on this private UFO hunt. All right. Hey, guys, I love you guys. Peace. I'll catch you later.